Hi, this is Patricia of JourneyToBestMe.com. Want to talk about the struggle mentality. And maybe, oops, let me see this. Okay. Struggle mentality is what I titled this video, and asking the question, have you been struggling so long, or, just been in it struggling, grinding so long that you have that struggle mentality and you can't seem to shake it, or you're so accustomed to struggling or surviving that you can't, it has become your norm, which it should not be, but you've been doing it for so long that it has become your norm, and you can't seem to break, or not even aware that has become your norm, and excuse me, and breaking free so that you shift to thriving mentality instead of the struggle or surviving mentality. So I want to ask that question, because so many of us, and even myself, is like, okay, struggling, surviving, you do it for so long that it becomes your norm, and it becomes your part of your subconscious mind, that you have to reprogram your subconscious mind, which you can do. And if you follow me, of course, our mind, our most valuable asset, firm believer in that, and it's all about reprogramming it, and it's all about raising, your mentality from struggling to struggling or surviving to thriving. And part of that, is one, okay, what do you want for your life? Have a plan in place, but then also work on, your mind, which part of that is your beliefs, shifting from that struggling or surviving mentality, but that's all part of your beliefs, and you're working on replacing those beliefs, those limiting beliefs that have been stored in your actions, and your routine. Like I said, it's become normal, that has been stored now in your subconscious mind. So shifting those beliefs, and also when you shift your beliefs, to work on your thoughts, and it's also being aware. So that's the biggest thing, is being aware that you have this struggle mentality or the surviving mentality, and then shifting that. And that takes work every single day. Every single day it takes work to, raise your, or shift those beliefs, and raise that mentality from surviving to thriving. And part of that, like I say, is new statements that you write them down. I was like, write them down, because I have beliefs. It's part of my morning routine, is my beliefs uh, written down, saying them. But it's not just saying them, but it's more of saying them with feelings. I've talked about this before. Feelings are key. And then when it comes to beliefs, affirmations, your mantra, when you say them with as much feelings as possible, and keep saying it until you get that and it's ingrained in your subconscious mind. But then also check your words. What are your words? Like I said, if you've been running on autopilot, or that's become your norm now, you may not even be aware, unless you start making yourself aware of what you're saying, what you're thinking. Like I say, awareness is key here, is being aware of what you're saying, what you're doing as well. Because if it's ingrained in your subconscious mind, it's just running on autopilot. It's on autopilot. You're doing it, not even realizing that you may be doing it. So it's now becoming aware, getting in tune with you and your words, your actions, your thoughts, and shifting that, raising that vibration, raising that mentality from surviving to thriving. And then also a part of that too is, say for instance, maybe you want to lose weight, or or lose this many pounds. Actually visualize yourself losing that many pounds, and you want to lose this many pounds, or maybe you want to go, buy a dress, and I know, or a nice sexy dress or a swimsuit or something, since summertime is on its way. Visualize that, go to the store, see the, get that suit, visualize yourself in that suit every single day, or visualize yourself losing the weight, or whatever your goal is. If you want to, purchase your dream car, whatever that is, visualize yourself driving that dream car. It's parked in your garage, or, your residence, your parking space, yourself in it, smelling the freshness of it, whatever the colors, visualize yourself to the detail, as many details as possible every single day. And like I say, every single day, and putting as much feelings, and details when you do the visualization as possible every single day, so that you are shifting your mentality from surviving to thriving. And then also, go to the experience of, maybe shopping, or you may not necessarily be shopping per se, but window shopping. Say, for instance, to the nice, expensive store, window shopping, just to experience that. Or also maybe somebody else that I was following, and they've talked about this. Maybe go spend a nice hotel or weekend or overnight in a nice hotel in your city. You don't have to necessarily go out of town, but or to have that luxury experience. So an example, to raise your conscious, to raise your mentality from struggling to thriving, from surviving to thriving, but to raise your mentality and to experience that. So these are all just some suggestions, of how to help you raise your mentality and put yourself in the environment, in the luxury environment. Put yourself, or maybe go test drive your dream car, to put yourself in that environment of driving your dream car, staying at a luxury hotel, or whatever the case may be, but you get the gist of it. And all of that works towards, shifting from that struggling, that surviving mentality to the thriving mentality. And do things like that on a regular. And like I say, the beliefs, you're stating your beliefs with as much feelings, emotion as possible, visualizing every single day, all of those things, shifting being aware you have limiting beliefs, recognizing, and also recognizing, if you're running on autopilot, and you're struggling has become your norm, shift that. And then the other thing too is reading personal development books, or reading the biographies of somebody that you deem successful, reading their story and how they overcame and how they, reached their level of success, and believing that you can do it as well. So that's the other thing, is believing that you can do it as well. So all those things help you to shift from struggling or surviving mentality to thriving mentality. If you have that struggling or surviving mentality, implement some of these things, as well as hopefully I gave you some ideas of what you can do on your own. And also surround yourself with positive, success-minded people, because when you surround yourself, and that's another thing, your environment, your circle, or check your circle. But when you upgrade or increase your circle to include these people, then once you get around these people, of course, that rubs off the energy, the vibration, it rubs off on you. And it should help you to, want to come up or raise yourself up to the level that they are, if not beyond. But it's all getting yourself surrounded by positive, supportive people. So that's also, check your circle. But all of these things help you to shift from that surviving mentality to the thriving mentality. So I hope this helped. And if that, if this applies, if you've been struggling or, surviving, do some little things. It doesn't require big things. I know I talked about maybe an example of checking maybe a hotel, staying in a hotel overnight, or a weekend luxury hotel, or it could be something, maybe a little less. If that's not quite in your budget, you can come up with some ideas, get creative, because you are a creative being, but just to raise your vibration, raise that mentality, to put you in that environment, to have that experience. So come up with some ideas to help you as well. Once again, this is Patricia of JourneyToBestMe.com. Shift from your struggling, surviving mentality to thriving mentality, which we are all meant to do. We are all meant to thrive and not just survive.